All right. Shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I say this is a lovely early morning that the Most High Ahia has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I got kind of tied up when I was just speaking because I'm thinking about it is morning, and this morning has been a strange morning for me because I did things that I normally wouldn't do, and I realized that I got up and I cook mashed potatoes, gravy, roast, smothered with mushrooms and onions, and I had stir fried zucchini with mushrooms and onions. And I ate that meal this morning, not knowing really that it was morning. It was just, my mind is just everywhere. And even though my mind is everywhere, my spirit, I can't even say that it's trouble because it's not trouble. It's at a peace. But yet, no, there's something that he wants me to say unto you. So I might be, and it might appear that I'm all over the place. But this is going to be a good one. Because the Spirit of the Most High, Ahia, is going to speak in this message, through this message, and for this message. I wanted to say that it's going to be all over the place. But somebody out there is looking for something. I don't know if it's July the 6th or the 5th, 2022, or on down the line that might come up on this video that's looking for something that they haven't heard, okay, over here and over there, behind them in life, nor in front of them. And they're looking for something that's down deep within, okay? And they can't seem to shake it. All they know is that it's just, how would I say, it's spinning, it's twirling inside. And they're trying to find some, it's not even comfort, it's some closure. So I, Sister Deborah, will say that it is so important that we as individuals just look for the light in everything. When I say the light, I'm talking spirit and truth, okay? I'm not talking about your history or who you are on the earth, your history of where your ancestors was and were, or your history of anything, because the truth be told, we are a people that has been 100 times 100 stiff-necked, rebellion, and disobedient. Believe it or not, one thing about those three, that tells us that we are not a people that knows how to keep a rule. We cannot stick to rules. We all over the place disrespecting rules. So all those categories, all three of those really leads up to a people who don't follow rules, who don't salute rules, who don't obey rules. You know? So to me, that's another sickening that's among a people. So I would say to you all that when it started, I was washing dishes. And he was telling me that, Deborah, there is an awakening. There is an awakening. There is an awakening. Okay? And the things that you are saying, it's part of the true awakening. The awakening in which they has categorized according to their will and their pleasure was found among a nation that felt that if I can speak what I now understand, I can teach people that I have awakened to some information. Okay. And I need to give them this information so they too can awaken. When in the water, he was saying to me, Deborah, there is an awakening. And then he began to tell me about how I have been speaking regarding the awakening, the true awakening, all this time. I had no idea because I always have been against the awakening. And I had every right to be against the awakening because today is July the 5th, 2022. And there is a nation of people, okay, still stuck in their newfound religion called the Awakening, called the Hebrew Israelite. He said that they have formed their own understanding, their own way, and they have formed it to deceive many out of their fleshly way of category and describing an awakening. And he went on to tell me in the water that there is awakening. Tell them what the awakening is. Because when he was telling me that you were always speaking on the awakening that the Most High wants you all to know today is the awakening of the Spirit. It is not the awakening of their flesh. Their flesh cannot awaken to spirit and truth. Only their spirit can awaken to spirit and truth. And it's found in the light where there is spirit and truth. Okay, so he's saying that they are calling it awaken because they're still yet asleep. And he said the sleep that they're in is the point of death. Okay, so they are so asleep till they out as if they are a dead man. Because if you're out like a dead man, you can't wake up and see anything. You are not awakened. So he wants me to let you know that that there is an awakening, but the awakening is spirit and it is truth. It's to awakening you to righteousness. It is to awaken you to just. It is to awaken you to the light. It is to awaken you to how good there is a drink that you thirst for. Okay? That drink that you thirst for will lead you on the path to what righteous is, what just is. You see, that's the true awakening. It is spirit and it is truth. A new awakening or the true awakening of the flesh, it's vain and it is vast. It is darkness. It is wicked. It is a high level of midnight. That means the highest level of wickedness rests therein. So this is why you see them switching and turning back to so much vomit to where they are cursing the book itself. They are cursing the will of the Father because they're still sitting in pitch black midnight darkness, wicked and evil, because they're still trying to form this new awakening in the flesh. We got men that have been in this walk for too long to still be chasing their history. What is it to gain your history? Now, don't get me wrong now. Ahaya is saying there's nothing wrong with you knowing your history. That should be on the back burner, and the light should be the first burner. You see what I'm saying? So he's saying that they think they are awakening to their history, and their history should be on the back burner. And righteousness and light and the way to the narrow gate, okay? The just should be on the first burner. Those are things that are spirit and truth. They should be on the first burner. But what they choose to do today is now they don't agree with what they call the Old Testament and the New Testament. With me, it ain't no Old and no New Testament. It's all my Father's fingerprint and whatever He has put in there that gives the mystery to the elects. That's all I can say about that there. Because outside of that, no matter what history you find in the European books, you see, you're still lost without a cause, because you can go all over the world and off the world, and when you finish, the only history exists is the history in the heavens before the foundation of the world. You want to know your history? Find it. Very few shall find their end. You know why? Because they're looking for the history that dies. This history in which man is searching, it dies with man. You see? It goes to the grave. That history is what they thinking they waking up to. They thinking they bringing spiritual knowledge and revelation and all of it. But it's all darkness and wicked. Because if you find the light of the Most High, Ahaya, it will lead you to Yeshua HaMashiach, and then you'll learn who HaMashiach is in that light. It is all power in the heavens and on the earth. Now HaMashiach is carrying that power. He was present at the beginning. So when that HaMashiach ushered these things into you, you begin to see that which was in the dark, which is your history, that shall come to the light in the last days. So a lot of our men have decided to chase the history now of the Europeans. They try to search European history on and what and who they are. And they too understand not, because they're walking in so much pitch darkness. They think that they've been blessed by the Most High to come here in 2022 and reveal darkness and try to slide it into light. Y'all said not so. Tell those people there is an awakening. And this nation of people are so far from the awakening. That is spirit and truth, Deborah. Tell them there is an awakening, but it's no awakening in the flesh of man. When man comes into the world and he comes out of the world, everything that exists with him dies with him. His whole history. Does lies die with him? Yes. Does mystery die with them? Yes. Does the revelation of that individual die with them? Yes. Every history that you search dies to the grave. But there's only one history. One history. And only history. It's when you learn the history of what took place before the foundation of the world. That is your true history. So when I used to say to you all, for the last 4 years I've been on here, I keep trying to explain to people, and I can't seem to get nobody to understand it, and they won't. And I don't even think it's so much as them understanding it. Yah knows to whom he has given the portion in which he has measured to each an individual. He knows who that individual is coming into the world and going out. That's how powerful and who he is. That's who I give all my glory and honor and praise to. He that knows it all from the beginning to the end. You know what I'm saying? That's who I worship. That's who I serve. You see? So him, I wouldn't trust nothing no one is saying to my bosom. I wouldn't bring it to my heart. I wouldn't bring it and entertain it in my mind because Sister Deborah have told y'all throughout the 4 years I've been on here. I wasn't taught the way many of you all. I would put this here to a number of 99.99.1 trillion. Was I never taught the way you all been taught? See, because when a higher is speaking to me, I can reach back to where he taught me and say, that makes sense, Father, y'all, because before the foundation of the world, see, I can reach back there, y'all. Can you? Did y'all start you off by teaching you what took place before the foundation of the world? Or do you know what man history and man understanding, man knowledge, and man wisdom come from in him? Is that what you know? Yes, it is. That's all you know. But when someone come along and tell you that they're taught by the Ruach, by the Father, the Ruach, and taught, I cannot believe my, it shouldn't be dying, but it is. Hold on. I got to plug up my laptop. I'll be right back. Okay. So back to what I was saying, and it's very important. Is it charging up? Yes, it is. Back to what I was saying. Let's see here what is going on. It's plugged up. Oh, it's showing. Back to what I was saying. Before the foundation of the world is where I was taught. And it's not something to brag on. It's not something to put yourself on a pedestal and make yourself think you better than somebody else. Because the truth be told, y'all, let me tell you something. A person like me, we would be foolish to be bragging on anything. Because we're going to be held, much is given, much is required. That means every measurement of what you say shall be measured by the Most High or higher. You see? So you ain't getting away with saying something that is not true. But I tell you what comes with it: long suffering and endurance. To know what is righteous, just, the light, and the way to the narrow gate, and play with it, and lie about it, and deceive many. In it, there's a price to pay. So who would want to go that route except for those who really don't know those things, that portray that they know it? Because they've been on this platform for so long, they've been in the Bible for so long, they found so many books that was taken out, they done did their history search, and they done got receipts, and they know this, they know that, they know Torah, they know this, and guess what? They lost without a cause. But until a higher himself teach you one-on-one, only when he teaches you one-on-one, he starts you off with what took place before the foundation of the world. See, the reason why he teaches you from that level, because he'll let you know that which was. That's before the foundation of the world. That which is, that could be going on today and anywhere in between. And that which shall be, that's the E, was already in the heavens before anything was. But it started which was in the heaven is what you see today and what you're going to see later on if it be a highest will that you live that long. So you have to always go with that which was. That which was is not the King James Bible. In the beginning was Genesis chapter 1. That's not that which was. That is that which is. Hallelujah, Father. I see where you're going with this here. I can see where you're going with this here. But that which was cannot be taught by man. It has to be taught by a higher himself. I set an example. Many cannot line up with John the Baptist, but I'm a living witness. I'm not a dead prophet. I'm a living prophetess. Here to tell you in this day, I can bump heads with John the Baptist every day there is. I understand him. I understand him so much. Even when he tell you he was present, he knew him before he was. Nobody don't know nothing about that, do you? You don't know nothing about that. You know why you don't know nothing about that? John is talking about before I came to this earth, I know him that walks. He was in heaven. My mission, as John the Baptist was trying to tell Sister Deborah, he ain't talking to you. He ain't talking to you. John the Baptist was trying to tell Sister Deborah, okay, Sister Deborah, when you start to read, you'll see me. And then when I hear John the Baptist saying many things, I can see him from the level of heaven. I can't see him from the level of earth. I can see him from the level of heaven on his mission. You see what I'm saying? So when you think you got it nailed and you know A to Z, you don't know even A to B because you in your stupidity of your flesh. You in your flesh wisdom, your flesh knowledge, and your flesh understanding, your flesh emotion, your flesh feelings. And that's where you tied up in. Because spirit and truth will shut you down any time of the day, any hour, any minute, and any second. Because nothing you're speaking on these platforms have gripped spirit and truth. It has gripped the people's flesh and caused them to give you all the praise and honors, the likes, the subscribers, and you thinking you up here and y'all down here. Just like Satan did in the heaven. I'm going to steal that throne. I'm getting this heaven. We know that it's deeper than that, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. In case y'all don't know, it didn't go like y'all think it did. Because I see Satan down on the earth. Let me tell y'all something. Let me take this here off for a minute because this bothered my hand. I was really out the door. Finna go spend some money. And to the Most High, a higher said, no. How would I say it? Interfere with my spirit and I can't get no peace until I come to you all. There is an awakening. But it's awakened in the spirit and in truth. All this mess that they teaching y'all, keep on following. Because it's showing you the tunnel and the broad gate in which you're going and you're leading in. I was getting in the word. I was reading. And the spirit told me, I said, okay, here I am. I'm going to go on here. I'm going to do what you want me to do. I'm going to read what you want me to do. So I went on here and started reading the word And he said, Deborah, I want you to understand. This thing is spirit and truth. He said, you can take off your glasses and you don't have to go to those verses that you have wrote down. I'm going to speak in you and through you. And it's only going to be to whom I am speaking to. So it ain't important that Sister Deborah get any likes. It ain't important that Sister Deborah gets subscribers and people to say, oh, that's a good message. Oh, it ain't about that. That's why my comment is off. I don't want to hear your comments. Let me tell you, as long as my Father or higher is in front of me, in back of me, and every side of me, it don't matter where you at in me or with me or around me. Because I trust in the one that taught me from the beginning even to today. Whenever y'all take out time to speak to somebody every day and throughout the day, I don't want to listen to nobody else telling me they chasing their history. They know this and they know that. Oh, the issues of the world, they doing this, they doing this, they doing this, they doing it. When people tell you all these all these issues of the world, it's because nothing spirit and truth in them for them to tell you. So they got to surround the issues of the world to bring it to your bosom, to confound or to confuse this here, to be thinking about spirit and truth, or thinking about the light, or thinking about righteous, or thinking about just, thinking about faith, and thinking about endurance, and thinking about spirit and truth. Oh, no, no, no. Think about what's going on in the world. Oh, they doing this, they doing that, they doing this, they doing that. Y'all said until you able to look in the mirror and see what you have done and unto him, you will never see your face when you look in the mirror. You will never see your face. And when I say your face, I'm talking about the face of who you are in spirit and in truth, because you have a spirit. And they didn't told Jesus so. But you have a spirit that you cannot see when you look in the mirror, because you're so busy looking at your ugly flesh in the mirror, looking at your face. That's all you want to see is what you believe, what you see, what you think, your wisdom, your knowledge, and that's all it's about. Go for what you know. The bitterness, I wouldn't even call it bitterness, because he's not gonna let me call it bitterness. That's the second time I wanted to use that in this video, but I can't use bitterness. I would use, there is something going on in the spirit realm right now. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because when he tells me in the water this morning, Deborah, there is an awakening. There is an awakening. You've been telling them in parables and through the word. You've been telling them through me speaking to you. There is an awakening. It is spirit and it is truth. That's the true awakening. See, you can't awaken to nothing in your flesh. You want to awaken until the day your mother had you and her and your father, or awaken to who your father really is. It'll knock you off your rocker to know who your own daddy, your father really is. It'll knock you off your rocker to learn who your mother and her mother's father is. It'll mess you up to know who your daddy's daddy is. It'll mess you up to know the history of all of that. But when you come to the understanding of the true history that took place before the foundation of the world, it brings you light. It brings your righteousness. It brings you just. It brings your spirit and truth of all matters. So you really want to know your history? To be honest and the truth be told, if you knew how many people your daddy, and your daddy raped, molested, how many of their sons they molested, how many of their daughters they molested, it would knock you off your rocker. The truth be told, get away from the history of your flesh. You better hope that it dies with it. Everyone that comes up, born, when they died, their history died with them. You see? So going and searching your history, it's only bringing sorrow to your flesh. If you haven't been taught by a higher of the true history, which rests in the heavens before the foundation, you are lost without a cause, and guess what? Never going to find your way to righteousness, to spirit and truth, to the narrow gate. Why? Because you're searching darkness that ain't going to change. But when you search light, light going to bring you into light. Hallelujah. It's going to bring you into spirit and truth. It's going to bring you into righteousness. It's going to show you the way to the tree of life. But if you want the darkness, keep riding in the darkness. It's not going to bring you nothing but that which was in the dark shall come to the light in the last days. How long do you want to, how long do you want to stay in darkness? and not grip the spiritual truth of the matter. That light comes to bring you out of darkness and bring you into righteousness, to bring you into the bosom of the Most High Yah through Yeshua HaMashiach. You're never going to understand what took place before the foundation of the world. Really, what was Genesis 1 and 2 about? Really, what was Noah back in the days in Genesis 6? You don't even know the truth of the matter of where you at today that said it would be like the days of Noah. They took only that part which said feasting and marrying and giving in marriage. See, they say two things about feasting and feasting and a gathering, I think it was, marriage and giving in marriage. See, those things, those are high level wickedness, y'all. That's going on today. That matches Noah, but it's deeper than that. What you mean, Father, y'all? Tell them, Deborah. It was deeper than that. It was deeper than Lot's and what they have heard that caused me to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah and all the cities surrounding. It's deeper, Deborah, than the days of Noah. I said it will be like, but it will be worse. Why? It got to bring in light. But in order for it to bring in light, it has to bring darkness. It has to manifest the evil and wicked so that you may see it as you walk into the light. So I, Sister Deborah, say unto you, whether you understand this or not, y'all said there is an awakening, but it's this awakening to the spirit, and it is awakening to truth. I will be back with another message right after this, because I don't want to interfere with what y'all is saying to you right now. I don't want to even go in that realm. Okay, something's going on here. Let's go. We're going to step into a verse. And let me take you there. We're going to step into, let's go to Proverbs 4 and 17. Proverbs 4 and 17 is what I'm going to leave you with. Proverbs 4 and 17. Come go with me. Verse 17, Proverbs chapter 4, verse 17. For they eat the bread of the wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Verse 18. But the path of the just as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. Hallelujah. Verse 19, the way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. Verse 20, my son, attempt to my words. Incline thy ear unto my saying. Verse 21, let them not depart thy eyes from thy eyes. Let them not depart from thy eyes. Keep them in the midst of thy heart. For they are life unto those that find them. And health to all their flesh. Understand. That is Proverbs chapter 4, verse 17 to 23. Now, let's go to Daniel. Daniel chapter 12. I'm going to add these verses. I was going to stop, but he's suffering me to Daniel chapter 12. In Daniel Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1 through 4. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1 through 4. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. Even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Don't let nobody tell you the whole house of Israel is found in the book. Wake up, people. A lot of what he was telling me earlier today when I was finding scriptures, he said, Deborah, I want you to really focus. Because he showed me some things that were smeared. And I was like, I would have never known that that was smeared until you revealed it to me. That's when you set your ugly mouth and be up under the Ruach HaKodesh and let him teach you. When you just want to teach yourself and want all these people on this platform to teach you, you become the fool of darkness. Okay, let me say that again. In Daniel chapter 1, it says at the last sentence, everyone that shall be found written. Written mean past tense. Tell me what's that past tense, Deborah? Before the foundation of the world, your name was already written in the book. See, that's when you give the power and the authority back to whom it belongs to. When you believe that before the foundation of the world, all things had taken place, and in that book was the name written. Before he said, let there be, it was already in him. It's written. Okay. Daniel chapter 12, verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awaken. Listen to this. Some to everlasting life, and some to the shame of everlasting contempt. Verse 3. And they that be wise shall shine. That's that light. That's that light. As the brightness of the firmament. And they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Wait a minute. You mean those that turn, wait a minute, it says those that turn many to righteousness. Why are people turning you to their pages? To their wisdom of their flesh, to the knowledge of their flesh, the understanding to their flesh, their personal opinion of their flesh, their emotions and their feelings? Why ain't they turning you all to righteousness? It's found in the light. The narrow gate. Why ain't they turning you these places? Even those that are turning you, it's going to be rewarded. Okay? And it says, and they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. And they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, listen to this. Shut it up. The words. Shut it up, Daniel. Shut the words up. And seal the book, even to the time of the end. See, Daniel had to obey. Sister Deborah had to obey. He told Daniel to seal up and telling Deborah to speak up. Hallelujah. What's the difference? Daniel was dead. Hallelujah. Sister Deborah is spoken in here. Even to the time of the end. Those books of what Daniel was sealing, those words was to be spoken in the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Father Ahaya wants me to let you know the knowledge itself is spirit and it is truth. You see that? Daniel was sealed from it. He had to seal it up, close the book, because the end was going to carry what Sister Deborah is bringing before you now. Spirit and truth. That's the knowledge. Spirit and truth. That's what he was saying. It says here, shut up the words and seal the book, even into the time of the end. Why? Because the end, God's going to do a new thing. And it's not going to be a new thing. It's still going to be what took place before the foundation of the world. But he's sealing the end with knowledge of what? Spirit and truth. You see, knowledge alone can't get you nowhere. You see, he's letting you know spirit and truth is floating in the air today. It's whether you're willing to reach at it and grab it and making it part of your eternal destiny. Or you want to reach on these devil platforms and keep getting this yang, 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 doo-doo time, all this old mess this people are teaching you all. Don't go searching your history, y'all. Ain't nothing in your history that can redeem you. There's nothing in your history that can save you. There's nothing in your history that can deliver you. It's nothing in your history that don't go down when you go down to your grave. Like a vapor, come and go. But what is spirit and truth? What took place before the foundation, the true history, can rest there in you and let you run this race with victorious victory in Ahia. Okay? I like this here because he said, and knowledge shall be increased. Knowledge shall be increased. Why? Because, okay, Daniel, seal the words up. Shut the words up. Seal the books, because I got an end that I'm going to have those come out and speak on. They're going to bring the knowledge of spirit and truth. They're going to bring the knowledge of righteousness. People are going to go to and fro looking for that knowledge. And then many won't find it. Because Yah has sealed it into a narrow gate. He have sealed it where he knew it would be. The history before the foundation of the world did he know this. This didn't come to a knowledge to him today because you come into the knowledge. Knowledge is, he has a knowledge that's greater than any knowledge that exists on the face of the earth. In case you didn't know that. Yes. Okay. So I like that because he's telling Daniel to seal up the book. Okay. And he's telling Daniel to shut up the words. I like that. Because he got an appointed day. That day, which is the end, in which the knowledge of what Daniel sealed up is being dispersed to you all. And you're losing it so far here to where you're not getting it. So that's why he said, and very few shall find. And if it was so, it would fool the elect what all these people are doing and what they're saying that's leading people into more and more darkness. And it's time to come out, y'all. The Bible is telling us that which was in the dark shall come to the light. So don't let nobody tell you Torah was all that and some. That's a lie from the pit of hell. That's a lie from the pit of hell. When you think Lot and Judges and that wasn't Torah, but Lot and ending of the world, the days of Noah. What was that at? In Torah. So how can someone today make yesterday better than today? And that's the beginning of it all, of all the wicked and evil that was hidden. Today is bringing it to the light. That's why Daniel had to seal up what he had, the book and the words, because y'all had appointed those words and that which was in that book to be coming out in the end days. And this is who he sent. I am one. I'm not the only one. It's many out there, but you're not going to be able to know who they are because It's not given to you to know who they are. You're going to have to trust a higher having a relationship with you and causing you to find those that he has sent out unto you to give you the spirit and truth, show you the direction to the light, show you the direction to the narrow gate. Let's go to Revelation 10. This is the last verse. And I feel good about it because I'm doing good time. Revelation 10. In Revelation 10, so you know in the end days, something has to come out. They're going to be going to and fro. And is that not what they're doing on these devil platforms? So how can we make this whole book a lie? It's telling us how the people going to be conducting themselves. It's bringing a light out of the darkness of what they smeared. See, that's what I'm telling you. Don't ever let nobody tell you this book is not something that you shouldn't use. The men that led you all in their fleshly awakening, they was all for this book from A to Z. Now they're cursing this book. They now run to the vomit. I was coming home yesterday and I asked the Father, I said, why is it that the tribe of Judah licks the vomit of the heathens and Gentiles so much? You should see our men and how they react to Europeans. A lot of times you think those that's in the car and going off on cops and those are the ones that's sick and gone. But our professional men, our men of wisdom and knowledge, our educated men, they love them some heathens and Gentiles. And not just the women. They love licking the toenails on the heathens and Gentiles. I sit back and watch how they conduct themselves around them. Yes, sir. They don't be saying yes, sir, but they feel, let me say an example. It's one guy, now listen to this. This one man came to my store. He said, hey, Deborah, I ain't seen you in a while. He said, yeah. He said, I come here to tell this lady, Cindy. I said, who is Cindy? I've been in there 2.5 years. This lady ain't been there 2.5 years, but I didn't know who she was because I don't go lollygagging. I don't go playing and talking and fellowshipping with everybody. I don't do it. The reason why is because I can discern. And when you discern, that's suffering. That's suffering. That's something you're going to have to endure. So that means you go up among people you know already they lost. So I have to back up, stay away. A lot of people don't know that's why. Even when I was a young girl, I sit in the back because I can understand what this lady was doing the day before she was there at the church. What this man had done before he left home. What the pastor done and what he's going to preach about. That was wrong. Just imagine having a mind like that, that the Most High have put on you. The gift that you can't even take off of you. It's just there. So what did I do? I stayed my butt all the way to the back. I go to the back pew. And back there, I felt a little bit of comfort, knowing that I was against the wall. Then I don't have to discern all these spirits and what people are thinking. So this guy came in and he was saying, Cynthia, and I said, well, ain't nobody open today. He said, oh, I just thought maybe I'd come by. I saw that you was open, but I thought I'd come by. And I said, oh, okay, she might be down there. Found out she was. But guess what he was chasing? Let me tell you what he was chasing. He bought something from her that was $10. When he went to a place to sell it, they gave him, I think, 140. He felt the need to hunt this lady down, this white lady, to give her half of what he was having because she sold it to him for 10 and it was worth 150. Oh, I just can't do her wrong like that. This is a black man. This lead me to understand. I'm going to tell y'all, a lot of you all, I'm going to say it again, 99.9 are messed up from the floor because you refuse and reject Deuteronomy 28 in game. You're going to be gone here. That's what's wrong with our men. That's what's wrong. There are them. They are so stuck on. Let's go. Let me go where Ahaya has taken me. Revelation 10. Because what I'm about to say is not going to help because they're gone in Yah. It's nothing Sister Deborah can say. They are already gone. Okay? Revelation chapter 10, verse 3, and we will go to 3 to 7. Revelation chapter 10, verse 3. The cry with a loud voice, as when a lion roared. And when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voice. Verse 4. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven say unto me, seal up those things which the seven thunders uttered, and write them not. See, y'all got a way of letting them know I rule. Let's seal this up. I got appointed time for this to come out. So when y'all send y'all tails around here up on this devil platform, listening to people talking about the world and all the issues of the world, they doing this to us, they doing this and they doing that, they did this and they doing this. Let's search our history. Let's search our y'all just lost in darkness. Because here it is, he's already telling him to seal it up. Now listen to this here. That was verse, let me see where I was at. In verse 4, and when the seven thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write. But guess what happened? And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which the seven thunders uttered, and write them not. There goes somebody else being told. John, I believe it was, being told to seal up. Why? Because Ahia wants me to tell you today, he knows the beginning to the end and anything in between. He had a reason to seal up what he was telling Daniel to seal up. He has a reason to tell John to seal up. Don't you wonder, well, what was all this he's saying? Seal up or close the book and seal the words. What was all that about, Deborah? Because Yah said in the end, that which is in the dark, in Torah, there was darkness, shall come to the light. So when you're running and you're trying to master this book, you're trying to master these people messages, you're trying to master their ways of their wisdom, you're trying to master the ways of their knowledge, you're trying to master the ways of their understanding, you're trying to master the ways of their feelings, their personal opinion, and mastering their emotions. Let me tell you something. You tell those people, start getting on this devil platform, shutting them people down, speaking spirit and truth to them. Don't hide spirit and truth on this devil platform. Roar like a lion. Roar like a lion. Speak spirit and truth. Cut all this mess that's going on, that's been going on for so long. Go on and do it if you are about a higher. Higher will show you how. You don't do it because Sister Deborah. You do it because you stand on the right side. You and Moses told the children of Israel who's really on your side, and then the one that wasn't on the side, didn't y'all tell them, kill them, thousands. Y'all don't play. You don't know who you playing with. What side are you truly on? People talking stuff, go see what these people are talking and shut them down. Shut them down. When y'all start to teach you spirit and truth, that's your job. That's your mission. That's your purpose. Shut them down. Say something. Because you don't know what you say might save them. You're not supposed to be afraid of their faces. Just because they've been on here 40 years don't mean nothing. 40 years of lying, manipulating, and deceiving the multitude of people. So it's time for the light to be spoken. It's time for righteousness to be spoken. It's time for spirit and truth to stand firm in what it is, what it was, and what it's going to be. Okay, now we in Revelation chapter 10, and now it's talking. John is talking. He told him to close it up. Now what happened in verse 4? Revelation chapter 10, verse 4. And when the seven thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal it up, those things which the seven thunders utter, and write them not. Verse 5. Verse 5. And the angel which I saw standing upon the sea and upon the earth lift up his hands. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And swore by him that liveth forever and ever, who created the heavens and the things that therein are, and the earth and the things that therein are, the sea and the things that therein are, which are therein, that there shall be no time longer. You see what I was saying? Sister Deborah told you all about a year and a half. We ain't in time, y'all. Father, y'all, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are not in time. That's why it ain't time to go searching your history. It ain't time to think that you're going to be taught by somebody who's trying to bring you back to Torah. It ain't time to follow the ways of men and women. It ain't time to be continuing in the dark. We are past that time. We are in that day. All the prophets spoke of what? In that day. Why are we getting away from that and going back to Torah? Torah yotel somewhere in Sinai. We're supposed to be walking in spirit and truth. Okay? Now, this is what he says in verse 7. It says, but in the days of the voice of the seven angels, when he shall begin to sound the mystery. The mystery, shall be finished. Why? The mystery is spirit and truth of all matter. All of it. All of it was created by spirit and truth. That's the mystery, y'all. Not what this people telling you, Torah. Not what they saying about the 10 Commandments. Not the history of where we was, where we going, and where we been. You'll never hear them do the true history. The true history will make you feel bad that you was a Hebrew Israelite. It'll make you feel bad that you on the tribe of Judah side. You're not on the side, but on this behalf. It'll make you feel bad that you Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob's seeds. It'll make you feel bad of any of that. Spirit and truth come bust everything that's in the dark and bring it to the light. That's why they stay away from that and tell you every issue in the world. Because every issue, I'm going to say that at the end. Let's go back to this here. Revelation, chapter 10. He already told John to close it up. The thunder was roaring. Close it. And then he turned around here and he said, in chapter 10 of Revelation in verse 7. But in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he shall begin to sound, he getting ready to do what? Cut up from the floor. The mystery of Ahia shall be finished as he has declared to his servants, the prophets. I want to say to you all, if you think for 1 minute that y'all ain't going to have his prophets and his prophetess speaking in these last evil, wicked, darkness days of yours, you's a lie from the pit of hell. Yah is showing up and showing out his mystery. He told John to close it up. He told Daniel to shut it up until what? The end. And here it is, his mystery is being all over the world. And no one is taking it at face value. That it carries all power and all authority. All of it. All of it. And we sitting around here tampering with these people, these knuckleheads on this devil platform, trying to be rulers over people. Trying to control people, trying to dictate whether you can turn left and you can turn right, trying to wipe all these other books. It's one here, honor and humility, STL. Melly, I would have never thought Melly would have fallen in such a large tunnel of darkness. Melly didn't went so far back and Haki. Oh, when I first listened to them, when I first listened to them, I was in Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, they was my favorite. Because they was just talking, but when they were my favorite, they was with the old heads. They was with the old heads. The old heads were cutting up from the floor up. You know what I'm saying? So they were in my hometown. So I said, when I get back home, that's who I'm going to be listening to. So I've been listening to them. And then they start feuding and getting into it and everything else. But Haki, he got Melly by himself and whooped that witchcraft, that sorcery on him. And Melly ain't never found his way home since then. Melly ain't found his way home since then. Now, Melly was a beautiful person. Beautiful person. He taught Hebrew. He was a humble type of man. But he let Haki. I knew Haki was going to do that. Haki couldn't stand me because I always come to their page and I would tell him, Haki, you ain't of the most high or higher. Haki, you speaking witchcraft and voodoo. You speaking sorcery. Oh no. Anytime you get locked up in this science, you went backwards. And see, people don't understand. With a higher, you go up. But when you see yourself going backwards to go up another ladder, you now going up the steps of Satan. And that's why I feel sad for Melly. Because right now, everything Melly said don't make any sense. None of it make any sense. And he on her big time and never regained what he once had. Once he left the old heads, and really what made him leave the whole old heads is Haki. The old head couldn't deal with Haki. It wasn't Melly. But once Haki got Melly out there, he left his tail hanging. Now Melly out there by herself trying to uphold a page. And Haki gone trying to be somebody like a Dr. What's that so-called man that didn't have a spirit of Yah nowhere in him. Just because you know about a diet and health for the flesh, y'all say that's vain and vast. You think you're going to outride me? I tell you what. No matter what you eat, no matter what you drink, watch how you die. You think, now hear me y'all, hear me. If you think for 1 minute, your diet and what you eat, what you drink, it's going to override the hour in which y'all come to take you off this earth. You's a fool, and you are a fool. Life, this death is in that power of Yah. When he have you coming in, he already got the day you go out. He said, I don't care if you go on your special diet. I don't care if you work out. My oldest brother was a bodybuilder, a trainer, a fitness coach. Died. He was at the doctor's office with his son. And they were sitting in the chair and total bodybuilder. And I ain't talking about that big old hook. He was just built real nice, good health, you know. That man sat there and that doctor said he just leaned to the side and fell to the side. While the doctor was talking to him and his son. He said, my brother just leaned to the side. And he went over trying to test whatever that thing where they try to do the heartbeat and all that. Do him CPR or whatever you call it. He said he was gone. He just went to the side, bam, hit the floor, dead. Massive heart attack. So you think when death comes, he's going to obey a Haki and his dying? He's telling people your hair, your ears, your eyes, your nose, your teeth, your mouth, your butt, your everything. He got the remedy for it all. He's a lost. And I knew it was something about this man. I never focused on the black spot that he has right here that kept growing and growing in his head. Because my son got one on the side. So I just thought it was a mole. But the father said the reason why it's growing is because it shows you the darkness that's in him. So he didn't went and left the word of the Most High or higher. He wasn't up on it no way. His whole intention, his whole mission from heaven was to mess up Melly and the old heads. And he did it successfully. He divided them too. And they all went their way. And then Haki was with Melly. Then next thing you know, Haki gone on his way and left Melly sitting there holding the bag that's busted at the bottom. And Melly think he owns something. Baby, you just as well. Guess what Melly give you now? Melly get on this YouTube and he show you all videos of white people telling us what truth is. Woo! You got this other young man that's on there. And I need to say something. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start saying something high. I say something all the time, but I need to really step in it big time. Because this one guy that was wood dowels. And don't ever think that the tree that had the apples that's fell and left and vanished is no longer on the dowel's tree. They staying too far from them. Their mindset. The mindset. They can leave Pastor Dow or Dow. I don't call him no pastor of anything. Not a higher pastor of the world. They can leave him all they want. But the mindset is what's messed up. And he got people running to something, another pastor, want people to go to him. And this white man ain't got no wisdom, no knowledge, no ruach, or nothing. And I'm sitting there looking at him saying, Father, y'all, this man ain't got nothing of you. I said, why would Mike refer? He said, who did Mike come from? Who did he come from? Pastor Dow. His enemy was Pastor Dow now, but he come from Pastor Dow. And then he's leading his little page, but he's telling people to go listen to these white people. I'm telling y'all, these men messed up from the floor. They are gone. They are gone. Just as Deuteronomy 28 endgame said, until they are destroyed. So I, Sister Deborah, hope that you got something out of this. And I'm thinking about coming live or going live today, either at 7 or 8 p.m. Central. So shalom and shalom.